Chapter 36, Nightmare Fuel. To the martial artist who desires more, wants to continuously get better, there's nothing worse than a plateau, a long period in training during which there's no perceptible improvement. You want to grow, learn, understand. You're looking for the edge, that special something that separates you from the mundane in pursuit of excellence. But no matter how hard you look, you can't find it. As mature martial artists, we've all bumped into this dynamic. Some of us have decided to just gut it out, push through. That's all well and good, but without knowing the specifics of your situation, we're going to make a suggestion. This is a recommendation that allows you to put some pegs on the wall so you can hang a few ideas. It's not new material. The majority of it, we think you're going to be familiar with it, but we're going to add a little twist based on what's been effective for us when we met those plateaus and overcame them. You know, the big question you have to ask yourself when you hit a plateau is, do you have the resources necessary for you to achieve your goal? In other words, do you have the right tools? Your instructor and your mental attitude are both part of those tools. It's external and internal. It's not just about what you have to work with, but also your internal direction, how your compass is set. If you don't have those resources, then how do you get them? And when you do get them, how do you apply them effectively? For instance, if you consider hitting a heavy bag 10,000 times in one training session, you've overdone it, haven't you? You've entered into the law of diminishing returns. That's but one example of whether or not you're applying your resources well, and such examples are legion. The bag is a great resource, but there's a sweet spot in using it to learn from. Logistics are the things that need to happen during any plan to make it succeed. The what, the how, the when, and where. That means that maybe you want to practice a form that covers a large amount of space and you can't do the kata when everybody else is in the dojo. Do you show up early, stay late, or find somewhere else to practice? That's what that means. You adjust what you need to modify so that you can sustain that training. Maybe you bring along a stand so that you can set up your smartphone to record the session, playing it back afterward to critique your performance. Maybe you download an application, like Visualize, ahead of time that's purpose-fit for video analysis. Those things aren't difficult, but without pre-planning, without considering the logistics, they're impossible. Here's a little thing. It can be a mental checklist or a physical one. What you need to do is list the resources necessary for you to achieve your goal, whatever it might be. Think internal, external. Jot down what you've got and list what you need to get to make it happen. Create a list of things you need to get to your goal, mark off what you have and what you don't have, and for the resources that are missing, figure out a plan for acquiring them. Sounds simple, but you'd be surprised by how many students we've had over the years who failed to plan and thereby set themselves up to fail. Let's use a non-martial arts example. Say you want to become a dental hygienist. Well, that means you've got a certain amount of school to complete, and you've got to get certified, and you've got to prove some competencies. Find a place that provides that. Use the resource, graduate, pass the examinations, become certified, apply for jobs, and before you know it, you're a dental hygienist. Yeah, we oversimplified things, left out steps like applying for student loans and such, but that's the process. Chart the path, list the resources, and get her done. To improve your chances of success, grab a calendar and establish a date by which you want to have your goal accomplished. Goals without plans, well, to say the least, they're not serious. Filling out a calendar with important moments allows you to work it backwards, know all the steps from today to tomorrow, to completion, and oh, now it becomes serious. Feel free to adjust and move items around as needed, but once it's solid, it's just that, solid. You've got a real plan, one you can use to hold yourself accountable, to stay on track, to assure success. Done right, your plan is specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Sound familiar? That's how we make SMART goals. S-M-A-R-T. It's both an acronym and a process. We can't tell you how many achievements we've made in our lives by applying the SMART goal system. For example, this book was written using that process. You just sit down and ask yourself, oh, I want to get the house painted or whatever it might be. And you say, that's specific. House painted? Got it. Is it measurable? Yeah. When the house is painted with 2 coats, it's done. Is it achievable? Yeah, it is. But not right now, because we're in the winter months. Got to wait till spring or fall. Summer is too hot and the paint might not adhere correctly. Okay, is it relevant? Well, yeah, I want to protect my house because paint keeps the weather out. New siding is expensive. Is it time-bound? Yeah, in fact, you can put a date on the calendar for when it needs to be done. That will help you find time to paint the house weeknights, weekends, whenever you set aside time and the weather cooperates. When you do this with your martial arts training, here's the thing that you should do. You should show your plan to your instructor or mentor, someone who's been there, done that, and has the wisdom of past success and failure to apply. If your plan isn't realistic, they'll let you know. And they'll explain why. Without the resources, without the help, you're stuck in plateau purgatory. It's nightmare fuel. If ignited, it burns out your aspirations and dreams. That's the beauty of leaning into wisdom, asking for help, resources, guidance. We do it every time we hit the dojo floor because we're learning from those that have come before us. Those who are willing to share what they've learned help us along the way. And that is pretty darn cool. This formula solves many problems, and it relieves anxiety. It works in virtually any aspect of your life, not just in the pursuit of martial arts excellence. After all, if you have a dream without a plan, it's just a nightmare. Takeaways. We must have the right resources to achieve our goals, or we will fail. Set a completion date and work backwards to plan the steps for getting there. Apply the SMART goal system and review your plan with a coach or mentor. Quotes. If a person is working toward a predetermined goal and knows where to go, then that person is successful. Earl Nightingale. Never bet against anyone who is committed to excellence. Lou Holtz. Every twist and turn in life is an opportunity to learn something new about yourself, your interests, your talents, and how to set and then achieve goals. Jamila Jamil.